Microsoft and Sony do things specifically different from one another, and I find that to be a little bit refreshing and at times infuriating. And what I mean by that is quite simple, that Microsoft tends to kind of go about things in a more roundabout way, and I just feel like it's one of those things where there could be a little bit easier way, or more a way where you could sort of make it a little bit more traditional. And I tend to be a little bit more traditional, and I'm a little bit harder on Microsoft now because I like the platform so much, and I think the Xbox Series X is a great console. The problem is, I don't think they have anything to really showcase it. It doesn't look like they're going to have anything anytime soon, and they always focus on the wrong crap, in my opinion. It's like, Phil Spencer is always out there kind of running his mouth about stuff. A lot of the stuff that he runs his mouth about doesn't make any sense because it contradicts other stuff and things that he's already done. So, it frustrates me to no end sometimes. Microsoft has the money to go out there and flex and buy, studios, acquire Bethesda and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's fine. They needed more studios. Should they get any more studios? I guess that's really up to them. I personally think that most things outside of what's already there should stay third party for the most part. I mean, obviously there's some smaller stuff. I think like, Sony, possibly like Housemarque or Bluepoint or something like that. I'm not sure who Microsoft is working with closely, but small acquisitions. But I think all the big stuff, there should be no Square Enix buyouts or WB Games buyouts. I think that at that point you're really starting to get to a point where it's not fun, right? But again, business is business. So if it happens, it happens. You just have to buy multiple consoles, which I'm all for anyway, because I buy multiple consoles as it is. With that being said, some new news came out just out of the blue. I find this to be so weird that they've done it this way, because I feel like the way that Sony's done things in the past, they could have probably did CGI reveals and gotten much more hype for the way that they're doing things. So yeah, it is a little bit strange to me, but I do want to hop into it. What's up, everybody? Crap Gaming here with another video. Slap that like button. Slap it! Crapgamer, slap that like button. Slap it. We slap it. We slap it. We slap each other. We slap Crap Gamer. Slap it. Slap it. Slap. Slap. Slappity slap. Slap. Anyway, go ahead and do that for me. With that being said, I'm rebuilding the channel. It's blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. I think that it's really something that basically, is going to take time, but I'm not unhappy with the results so far, so yeah, very much so, and I'm very appreciative of what you guys are out there doing. Thank you guys. So again, Sony and Microsoft doing completely different things. Sony's partnershiping is really empowering creators and avoiding an acquisition war, which I think is kind of smart. So on the eve of the Microsoft press conference, it's hard not to be wary of, the dreaded A word. A lot of people are worried that, if you're a PlayStation fan, that Microsoft is going to acquire things, dreaded acquisitions. Xbox well-publicized buyout of Bethesda, of course, changed everything, and all bets are off when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox, as it has the luxury of very deep pockets to bankroll whatever it wants to do, just with money on hand. And Sony, a much more stable organization in 2021, of course, they're not poor themselves or anything, but it's not going to be able to compete with the money that Team Green has, obviously. But PlayStation recognizes that it's about to be embroiled in a content war, which, by the way, I should have coined that phrase, because I was talking about content wars a couple of years ago. I knew that the console war stuff was over, because Microsoft doesn't want to be in the console war business. So, I knew that it comes down to content. So, and they appear to be protecting his position with a lot of shrewd moves. It really hurriedly announced a partnership with Assassin's Creed alumni Jade Raymond following her departure from Google Stadia. And a lot of people thought maybe it was a one-off, or there wouldn't be many of those things. But PlayStation Studios hierarchy did do more than that. We're beginning to see Sony do some definite deals and things like that. Firewalk Studios, a team consisting of Destiny and Bungie veterans, is working in tandem with Sony. And last night, during Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, Deviation Games made a similar announcement So that's something that a lot of people are talking about today. Now, many have scratched their heads over the announcement, and it's understandable. The latter reveal bordered on parody, actually, as the team admitted on stage that it effectively has nothing to show. And yet we've seen Sony do this before. Hideo Kojima's very public fallout with Konami culminated in a partnership with PlayStation, which saw Mark Cerny take the Metal Gear Man on a world tour in search of a game engine. A few years later, his new team released Death Stranding. So basically, whatever your opinion is on the PS4 exclusive, it did see Kojima's creativity unleashed, a high-budget hiking simulation with some really cool elements promoting the collaboration of all players. Conceptually, it's always been completely kind of weird, but, it was bold of Sony to sign the blank check and allow it to happen after all. From the outside looking in, it appears to be the blueprint for all these partnerships. Sony is not acquiring the industry, but empowering veterans to start fresh and giving them the tools and resources needed. Very few creators are household names like Hideo Kojima, but the Deviation Games developers during the Summer Games Fest are not nobodies. They're former heads of Treyarch, the directors behind franchises titans like Call of Duty Black Ops, and they know their way around games. Firewalk, as already mentioned, has creative director of Destiny at the helm, and Jade Raymond needs no real introduction as she's renowned for assembling talented and creative teams in a way that's basically a safe strategy for Sony. It's very a safe strategy for its subsidiary PlayStation Studios teams will continue to actually deliver like the big AAA bangers that we're used to. The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank. It's obviously been a rough year with the pandemic, but they're still delivering these great games time after time, and that's completely different than what we normally get to. Now, I get what you're going to say if you're an Xbox fan and you're hearing this. Well, crap gamer, what's so great about this? You said you hate waiting for games, and I do. But the thing that I like and is different about what PlayStation is doing is there's no 645 days between AAA exclusives from them. So I'm playing Ratchet and Clank today, a brand new PlayStation 5 only AAA exclusive that's blowing my mind. And there's going to be stuff, Horizon, God of War, Project Athia, which is Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16. And then there's going to be even more stuff after that. And it's the stuff, it's the constant flow of stuff and always having something in the pipeline. That's smart business. Why didn't Microsoft do that? This is what I'm talking about, right? So there probably was going to be a gap in Sony releasing their content. So what did they do? They built partnerships. They built partnerships to make sure that they don't have those gaps. This is a very, very smart thing to do. And I don't care who you are, this is absolutely the right thing to do. You don't have to buy every studio. You can still make partnerships and get exclusives. So they call themselves deviators, and they describe it another way of saying deviator is Renaissance mindset. Deviators are not only passionate about their own discipline, but they love others too. They believe that that is what is unique and special about their studio, the culture, the team, and the project. From experience, young, determined studios need rock-solid support to thrive, and that's why it means so much that PlayStation is partnering with them for their first game. And here's the thing. They said, what kind of game are they making? How long have they been working on it? Is it story-based, multiplayer, co-op, or all of the above? When's it coming out? They can confirm the development is already underway, but it's early for them, and going into specific details, they can't do that. They're drawing on what they've learned over our collective decades making games, but we're also out to make something fresh and brimming with innovation like you've never experienced before. We're not afraid to say that our ambitions are super high. We're setting out to make a huge content-rich game with a focus on a lot of action and a lot of energy, but let's leave it at that for now, and hopefully it won't be long before they can share more. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have to bring out. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what all of these companies have to bring out. Basically, we're probably a year or so away from seeing some type of trailer or whatever, and you know what? I'm fine with that. I honestly am. Getting games and exclusives I feel is important. It's not like, I refuse to be shamed over wanting exclusives or, or buying games or whatever, because I feel like that's ridiculous. At the end of the day, it's always how it's done. You support the developers, you support the platform, and then you get more of those games. And that's the way it's always worked, and it'll probably continue to always work that way. I mean, look, Battletoads didn't do great in Game Pass. Will we see a sequel? No. I mean, that game wasn't good, but you know, you get the picture, you get the story, you get the idea of what I'm talking about. So with that being said, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.